Venom is a lot of people's ideal man, or so I'm told, and because of that, many people wish to know all about him, especially how he was designed in the 2018 Venom film. You think the development of the Venom movie would be the most mundane out of all the Marvel films, but the Venom concept art has some of the most unique ideas I've ever seen in a film. Now, when translating a character like Venom to the big screen, the common assumption is that it wouldn't really be that difficult. He's a big black humanoid creature with a white spider logo, razor-sharp teeth, green venom, and a tongue we all fantasize about. Just me? Okay. Anyways, the look is very simple at a glance, but allows for some minor variations in the design. I mean, just take a look at many of the conceptual artworks made for Venom and you'll see that none of them look identical to each other. There's always some kind of minor variation in the look, whether it comes down to body type, the way the eyes were drawn, or the design of the tongue. Some of the best Venom designs come from artist Matt Millard, who when designing Venom took inspiration from Mark Bagley's illustrations, but still put his own grounded horror spin on the design. In some of the artwork, Venom has these realistic human-like eyes, almost like the symbiote is failing to truly meld with the human host. His face is filled with green venomous spit like you'd see in the old illustrations, and his skin is textured like there's some kind of skeletal anatomy underneath. The other designs he created are less realistic and lean more into the cartoony aspects of Venom's look, but you can still notice the Mark Bagley influence. Another aspect when it came to exploring how to translate Venom to the big screen was the question on how exactly you'd translate his skin. Would it be tough or almost oil-like? This video represents one of the very first models of Venom created during the development of the movie. As you can see, Venom has the proportions we see in the final film, but you can also notice that he's using Glenn Powell's baby oil. But maybe oiled up men are not what you're interested in. Maybe you care more about the white symbol on his chest, which I presume was one of the earliest attempts to translate the Spider-Man logo into the film in some form, an idea you can see in some early conceptual work. The exploration of the white logo went on for quite some time, especially since it's a part of some early models of Venom. However, seemingly the creative team were confused as to how to make his white logo look natural and realistic on Venom's body. The idea they came up with was to have the logo almost morph and shift around Venom's body like a biological feature of his form, one that could react based on Venom's emotions. However, director Ruben Fleischer felt that this was very distracting and was not important for the narrative. So a compromise was made to turn the white logo into veins. This way they could have some semblance of white on Venom's body without fully committing to the giant white logo. The way the symbiote transforms the host was also designed in a very special way. This artist was tasked with experimenting with how Venom shapeshifted, and he decided to go for a very unique transformation sequence. It feels like the symbiote can just grow teeth, gums, and eyes anywhere on its surface, and you get this cool imagery of the teeth and other parts bubbling and sliding around until they finally settle into the classic Venom shape. Venom was not the only symbiote in the film that went through dramatic visual changes. In fact, Riot in the movie didn't go through visual changes at all. In fact, he was a completely different character altogether. Originally, Carnage was intended to be the main antagonist of the first Venom movie. We know this for many reasons. Not only have artists come out and say that Carnage was the villain, but Carnage is also all over the conceptual artwork. As you can see, Carnage replaced Riot in the narrative, as he's present in every scene Riot was a part of. This is also the case when it comes to Riot's host. In the concept art, we see this kid with red tendrils leaving from him. Carnage was also hitchhiking through many people's bodies in the film until reaching Riz Ahmed. Based on this conceptual work of Carnage, bursting through a window. It does seem like the scene played out similarly like the one in the film. However, it is a little confusing. In some storyboards for the film, we see Eddie Brock clearly fighting what appears to be Cletus Cassidy. But this does make me wonder, what was Cletus's role in the film? Was Riz Ahmed not the final antagonist at this point in the film? And why exactly is Cletus even here? Perhaps in this version of the film, he was one of the many prisoners, meaning that Woody Harrelson would have had a much bigger role in the film. Carnage must have been in this film for quite some time. I say this because he was present in some pre-visualizations for the film, showing him as the antagonist of the final act. If there was pre-visuals for Carnage, it does mean that he came very close to being adapted into the film. However, presumably, someone working on the film suggested that Carnage should be saved for the sequel, leading to Riot replacing him at the last minute. Though Riot in some concept art is clearly modeled after Carnage, there were other interesting pieces of concept art for the film, ones that clue us into deleted scenes from the story. In one deleted scene, Eddie confronts Venom about his true purpose on Earth, leading Venom to apologize for all he had done. In this scene, Venom, who also possessed one of the security guards, attacks the others to save Eddie. Eddie then shakes Venom's hand, which causes Venom to transfer bodies. This was changed in the final movie to Venom kissing Eddie in Anne's body instead. Anyways, based on what you've seen, are there aspects of the concept art you wish was kept in the final film? Let me know in the comments and subscribe if you're new.